Welcome to your Icebox. This is the first instructional video on how to unpack and get your box set up. Open the plastic bag, remove the contents. You have instruction manual, you have the main enclosure, and a power supply. To open the main enclosure, lean the box over, use a pen, screwdriver, or key or other blunt device to press into the hole and pop the box open. You'll notice inside there's a bubble wrap circuit board. Remove the circuit board. The circuit board is shipped without being mounted in the enclosure to protect it during shipment. We have found that UPS can be pretty destructive. To install the circuit board in the enclosure, slide it under the tabs on one side. Then on the other side, use your finger to gently press down and slide them under. It's completely installed when these tabs are on the board. Once done, it's quite secure and ready for installation. You'll notice on this enclosure there are a couple of numbers. This is the serial number, and it will follow the format IPK3 and then a number, and then a UUID. This is a unique identifier which allows us to have this be the only device that when it's provisioned we know that it's not a robot and it keeps things from being hacked. So these two numbers are important to know for the installation process. To configure this device, you need a network connection that is available to the internet. That is typically a cable. This is known as category 5 or 6 cable. It's Ethernet, and it plugs into the bottom like that. The power supply plugs into the barrel jack there. You apply power to the device. There's no on switch. It's always on when there's power available. And you can see from the blue lights here that the device is active. If these blue lights do not light up, this board is probably dead. You can check for power availability right here next to the connector. And if you look at the base of the Ethernet jack, you can see a flashing green light. That indicates that it has a network connection and it's going and connecting. This device has some components that are interesting. It has relays. This is how the signal for the device, when it receives an event, communicates with other devices, and it can read meters at these terminals. To install this device, you mount it using the screws, holes here. The minimum amount is 1 screw in the middle. However, for more secure connections, you can put 1 in each corner, and they're at the top and bottom. You'll notice that when you place the enclosure on the box, there's a cutout on one side. It's important that that cutout be down so that the cables can all be routed out. This is not a waterproof enclosure. It is not a dustproof enclosure. This is designed for a clean location. To contact IP keys, there are contact information located on the box. There's also typically an instructional label that will repeat many of the things that I've already pointed out. To make the connection for the relays, you would find it useful to have a volt ohm meter and set it to ohms, and you can notice that there are 3 contacts to each relay. There's a center contact, there is a contact on this side, and there's a contact on this side. This configuration is called normally open. This configuration is normally closed. That means that if you want to close a connector, you connect to these two here by sliding the wire into the hole and tightening down on the connector. Once it's tightened, be sure to tug on it to make sure it's completely connected. To connect meters, this device uses KYZ pulse counting. You will receive wires from your utility from the meter, and they are connected in pairs to each of these terminals. So they would go here, they would go here, here. This is a grounding terminal, it's not used. Here, here, and here. You can connect up to 6 meters to these locations. That's the basis of unpacking and installing your icebox.